Welcome back to the Office Marketing Podcast with Mike Swigert, the podcast all about sales tips, mindset, and value bombs. 5 questions to help make your day more productive and learn a thing or two. Here is your host, best-selling author, Mike Swigert.
Hey, everybody. I'm going to talk a little bit about the stages of your business, right? So if anybody here has ever gotten out of shape or gotten in shape, odds are you're in one of these four stages, right? So these are absolutely the 4 main ways or stages or places that any business is in. Okay, so if you're on the couch and you're thinking about running a 5K, you can't go from the couch to 5K. The first thing you need to do is formulate an idea how you're going to do it, right? So the first stage of any business is formulation, right? So you're going to formulate, all right, what does it look like? You might get an LLC. You might, find your products, your vendors. You might, identify an audience. You might identify a list. All these things when it comes to formulation, you're really going to just formulate what problem am I going to solve? Is it a problem that I have the skill set to solve? Right. So identify problem and identify if you have the skill set. And then you start trying to put things together for formulating a business. Right. I would venture to guess that 99.9% of businesses don't make it out of formulation stage. There's a line that Les Brown says one time. He said, something along the lines of the greatest inventions. If you ever want to find the greatest inventions ever, go to the graveyard. He said, because that's where most inventions go to die because they never get out of formulation stage. They never get out. And they leave with these brilliant creators and these strategists that have they formulate these great ideas, but they never implement because the next phase, the next stage of any business is survival, right? And if you've ever worked for a startup, if you've ever been part of a company that's just freaking surviving, right? You've got a great idea. You're solving a problem. You think you've got great products to solve that problem. I worked for a great startup one time, and they were doing a wonderful, wonderful job with this one line. And they really had this vision of how they were going to be able to serve their market. And they loved their clients and everything like that. And their main line came to them and said, yeah, we're not going to sell to you anymore. So they had made it through formulation. They were going through survival. They were making a little bit of money. And this one line came in and said, yeah, no, we're not selling to you anymore. And so here they are in survival. Now they had to kind of take a step back and go back to formulation a little bit and kind of go like, okay, so are we going to go to formulation? Or are we going to close? Right. So luckily that client is probably, many X larger since that line has since left them. And if it's a friend of mine listening right now, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. But so we go from formulation, we go to survival mode. Survival mode is where I feel like a lot of solopreneurs live in that survival mode. If you're looking at a one-off company and you meet them, they're definitely living in survival mode. They may not have a big team. They're doing okay. Maybe they make enough revenue for them, but if something happened to them, they would be back deeper into formulation or reformulating. They live in that survival. They live in survival mode. Like maybe they've got 1 or 2 months worth of revenue to make it through, but that's about it. So you formulate a great idea. You've solved a great problem. You're in survival mode. We've probably covered 99. We're probably into like 3 nines right now because the next phase is one of the rarest for businesses, and that's momentum. Right? So follow me. So again, we're solving a problem. We've made it past survival. We got a little money in the bank. We actually have some good things happening, and we're getting more customers. Our product is getting better. We're solving more problems. We're able to focus on growing a business, and we're actually focusing on, there's a saying is like, don't work in your business, work on your business, right? So in the momentum phase is when you're really starting to focus on, all right, well, how am I gaining more and more momentum, right? I made it through survival. I can see my bank account get bigger every month. I'm able to invest in better software. I'm able to invest in better people. Maybe I'm able to get a CFO. Maybe I'm getting a COO. I'm getting quality people around me that are better at things that I was trying to do.
This episode of the Office Marketing Podcast is brought to you by Fusion Advisory. We help commercial contractors generate leads online profitably. Check us out at fusion-advisory.com.
That's how you know you're going from survival to momentum. You're actually looking for people that are very talented at specifically skills or value that you're trying to bring to your client, right? So if you're a salesperson and listening to this, you probably know what stage the business is that you're working for, because if you're a startup, you might still be in formulation. Maybe you've got some venture capital that's helping you get through there. Survival mode, you're kind of, you're there, you're making some revenue, you got some clients, but maybe payroll is a little bit difficult. Momentum, that's getting to a good point. Again, not a lot of people get there. So now we've got momentum. What is the next amazing stage for your business? Plateau. And actually, I would name this plateaus, right? And if anybody's made it through 93, 97, 2001, 2008, 2020, you know that sometimes plateaus are a step down or a step up. Plateaus aren't just, directly tied to recessions, but plateaus are also tied to, hey, I've leveled up, right? I've leveled up. I've gotten to a certain stage. Maybe it's 10 million, maybe it's 50 million, maybe it's 100 million, maybe it's 1 million, whatever it is, right? You're plateauing, you're hitting a certain stage. You're kind of there. It's steady. It's nice. And you're comfortable, right? Maybe you plateau down. Maybe you stay at that plateau for months or even years, maybe forever. And then you kind of go, okay, well, we're going to plateau up. That's generally how the companies go. And if we looked at a company like, the best example obviously would be Amazon. It was a great little bookseller that started really not that long ago. And then it was just in survival. I think they were losing money for at least 10, 15 years, right? And then all of a sudden they got a little momentum. And more momentum. I don't know if they'll ever plateau, because last year 2020 turned out to be a pretty amazing year for them. But they definitely have, they'll go through stages of plateau. Think about it. So how does this even impact you? If you're a business leader, think about okay, we're through formulation. We're in survival. If you've stayed in survival mode for way too long, you might want to jump back a little bit and kind of rethink about what problem am I solving? Who am I really serving? Because is this something that I can actually get to the momentum phase? If you're in momentum phase, you want to stay in that phase as long as possible. And if you're in plateau phase, that's okay. That's okay too, because that's exactly what happens to lots of companies. You don't want to plateau down, but it happens. But be thinking about, how am I constantly trying to maintain momentum? How am I trying to level up? Or if you're in formulation mode and you've got a good solution, how do you get into that survival mode? So hope this is helpful, and y'all have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the Office Marketing Podcast. Be sure to join the conversation on our YouTube channel, LinkedIn, and Facebook pages. If you enjoyed the episode, head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.